Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again. Um, I originally wanted to do a reaction video after um, the Blue Jackets had their comeback against the Leafs, and it was a tough night, to be honest with you. It's a lot of emotion running through my head, and with as disappointing a game as that was, I sat on my computer and I was writing some stuff down and I was thinking about what to say, and it was just the disappointment was um so it, I was so disappointed I couldn't even bring myself to make a video. I was way too upset, and there was lots of emotion, and with all the stuff that was going on Twitter and Instagram, I thought it best not to go online and say anything too inflammatory. It was too much. But going over that game, um, it's the Leafs played a great game. They had control for so much of that game. But one of the storylines for the Leafs this season has been how they respond after the opposing team changes goalies, and we've seen that a couple of times this season. For some reason, when the other team changes the goalie, the Leafs think the game is done. They take their foot off the gas. They stop skating. They look tired, and that's really what I saw. They had so much energy in the first half of that game. Nick Robertson scores his first goal. How amazing is that? First goal in a playoff game. He's looked really good. He's defensively sound. He works hard in the corners and on the boards, and he's been a great addition to this team for the playoff run. Hopefully it continues. That third line has been really good, but you know that the Leafs second line is a huge problem. It's the Leafs are getting a lot out of guys like Nylander and Matthews. Matthews has been a man possessed in this series, in this 5 game series. He's scoring goals, he's hitting, he's forechecking, he's knocking guys down after the whistle. He's really taking leadership of this team and trying to lead by example on what you need to do to win in the playoffs. And I would love for a guy like Mitch Marner to figure that out. You just got to look down the bench and you see Matthews and what he does and what Hyman does and Nylander. Nylander especially, I watch this guy closely because of all the hate that he gets on social media, but Nylander's a great skater. He turns his back to the whoever's trying to cover him, and he just skates with one hand. He's got a lot of strength. He's a great skater. He's got great poise around the net. And if you haven't noticed, he's scoring a lot of goals this year, and it's because he's hanging around the net more. And then you see a guy like Mitch Marner, who never goes to the net, who never stands in front of the net. He's nothing but a one-dimensional playmaker, and he hasn't been making many plays lately. And that Columbus Blue Jackets comeback was so disappointing to see. The Leafs were playing with so much energy. They were doing all the things right: small passes, skating through the zone, controlling play. It was really disappointing to see them stop skating, look slow, look tired, and they hung Freddie Andersen out to dry. It's the defense after Muzzin left is not the same. I'm really disappointed Martin Marincin is playing right now. He's a two pizza delivery guy. Every game he puts two pizzas up the middle. He overlooks the the defensive coverage, and he sees a guy streaking down the side, and he tries to hit that guy with a pass, and it always gets picked off in the middle of the ice. And he's a turnover machine. But at this point, what I would say to the Leafs management is, if Sandin and Liljegren and Calle Rosen are not good enough to play over Marincin, trade those guys. If Sandin is not right now good enough to play over Marincin, then trade him. Get something out. Get something for him. It's unbelievable that a guy like Marincin plays over Sandin, Liljegren, and Rosen. Why'd the Leafs go out and trade for Calle Rosen? Why did we get him back? Why did the Leafs have Sandin? This kid is so much better, and he's more poised with the puck, and he's a great puck-moving defenseman. If these guys cannot play over Marincin in a key, crucial time like this, 18-year-old Nick Robertson can do it, but Sandin can't. And if he can, trade him. Trade him. Trade him right now. Trade Sandin and get something that can play over Marincin. It's not hard. Marincin is a shit defenseman. And that's what I saw in Game 3. It was really embarrassing to see the Columbus Blue Jackets come back against the Leafs like that. It's a game they should have had, and unfortunately they blew it. And then in less than 24 hours, there's another game, and the Leafs just continued on from the previous game. They didn't skate well. They weren't moving the puck well. Not much was happening for the Leafs. Really bad passing. Morgan Rielly looked horrible in this game. Morgan Rielly does not look like a number one defenseman. I love the guy. He is not a number one or a number two, because clearly our number one and our number two are Muzzin and Hull right now. And Tyson Barrie plays the power play, and Morgan Rielly's on the not on the power play, the first unit. And I'm going to talk more about that too. But if Morgan Rielly is not your number one defenseman and he's not on the number one power play, then you don't sign him. You don't give him an extension for some crazy amount of money, because he's not worth it. If you're going to re-sign him at $7 to $8 million, then you're overpaying. Morgan Rielly does not look like a number one or a number two. So his contract is coming up, and he's going to command somewhere around 7 or 8. Okay, bye. There's definitely some things that the Leaf management have to look at. But here's the thing. The Leafs are down 3-0 with less than 4 minutes left. And what do the Leafs do? They take their best players that they're paying almost $11 million each. Tavares is 11. Matthews is 11.634. Marner is 10.893. And they put them all on the same line. And then the moment they do, the game changes. Okay, so if you're playing a 60-minute game and you got nothing through 2 periods from nobody, why wouldn't you start the 3rd period with that line? Why do you have to wait till there's 3 minutes left to put those 3 guys together? And guess what? Nylander scores because he's clearly past Mitch Marner and Tavares in the lineup. The 2 best players in Toronto for the Leafs, Matthews number 1, Nylander number 2. It's not even close. I don't care what your paycheck is. I don't care what your cap hit is. I don't care how much you're getting money. The 2 best forwards in Toronto, Matthews, Nylander. Not even close for the rest. Mitch Marner is a one-dimensional loser. I hope we trade him. I'm okay with getting rid of Mitch Marner. If it brings me back a number 1 defenseman, to the caliber of a Wierenski or a Seth Jones or a Krug or something like that. Okay, I'm totally for it. Open up some cap space, get a defenseman that can play higher than Riley or with Riley. Nylander scores the first goal. There's a little bit of life there. I wasn't very excited at that point because there's not much time left and it was only one goal. But then Matthews, being the playmaker that he is, gives it to Tavares in the slot, and Tavares does his typical wrist shot, top corner. It's his staple. It's a very nice shot. He can hit it consistently, and he hit it at that point. That it's a 1-goal game, and there's not much time left. And Matthews again makes the play, gives it to Hyman in the slot, and he scores. It's a tie game. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's probably one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen in my entire life. You know, other than the Boston comeback on the Leafs in 2013, I haven't seen a 3-goal swing like that. The Columbus Blue Jackets did do it the night before, but they had half a game to do it. Not like 3 goals in 3 minutes. That's what I saw was crazy. I was watching it with a bunch of people. We were all jumping around. We were shaking. I got so nervous. I had to break open the Jack Daniels. I needed to calm my nerves. I knew this game was going to overtime, and the refs weren't calling any penalties. The refs have been atrocious in this series. Horrible, horrible calls, non-calls, and calls. The worst call of this series probably would be Kapanen getting high-sticked in the face or cross-checked into the face, and he falls and he gets a diving penalty to go along with the other team's high-sticking call, and both guys are in the box. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but again, it happens because the refs, you know, you see the ref acting like an idiot in the replays all over the internet. The guy's behind the net and he's blowing his whistle a million times and he's goofing around. Hey, how about you blow the whistle when it matters? Not to blow it a million times in 30 seconds to look like a goof and go viral on the internet. How about you actually blow the whistle when the game matters? And lo and behold, maybe they heard me yelling at the TV, but finally, the Leafs got a call in OT. Obviously, the Blue Jackets didn't like it. Obviously, they didn't like it. And it's crazy that Columbus Blue Jackets fans go at all the Leaf fans and me on Twitter. And they and they say, you guys are a bunch of crybabies, always crying over calls, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's legitimate. But guess what? When Foligno got that call in overtime, they were up in arms on the internet, yelling and crying about that bullshit call. It was a great call. It was a perfectly good call. Morgan Riley could have been seriously hurt on that play. Stick underneath the skate, lift it, and smash him into the boards. Are you kidding me? And lo and behold, Morgan Riley replaces Tyson Barrie on the power play. Tyson Barrie, a guy who normally cheats into the middle of the ice, and Riley didn't do that. He stayed onto the boards. He kept the puck in. He gives it to Marner, and Marner, in typical fashion, he looked over his shoulder, but he throws pucks away. Thankfully, Tavares was there to get that puck, and the play is with him. Soon as the puck touches Tavares' skate, he whips around, sauces it over the defenseman's stick, and puts it on a tee for Matthews, and Matthews puts it in the only spot where the goalie wasn't, top corner. Top corner. I couldn't believe when that goal went in. I still can't believe that happened. It's, you know, the Leafs make it difficult on their fans. It's anxiety, it's agony, it's the highs and lows of what that 21 hours was like before they were up 3-0 and then they lost and then they were down 3-0 and they won. That's life of a Leaf fan, Leafs Nation. And now we got to do it all again Sunday. So you better believe I'm going to be cracking open the Jack Daniels early on Sunday. I need something to calm my nerves for that game. I need to mentally prepare for that game because I know it's going to be. That's how the Leafs play, and that's the life of a Leafs fan. Unfortunately, it's a lot of ups and a lot of downs. You got to stay even keel, and you gotta enjoy it. It's gonna be a fun game, so I'm definitely gonna be excited to watch that game. So it is what it is, and I believe the Leafs have the momentum going into Sunday, so I hope they ride that momentum into a goal early, and the Blue Jackets have to open it up a little bit, and the Leafs can play their game. So, go Leafs, go, and I'll see you guys on Monday, and hopefully it won't be a sad and angry reaction video to a bad game. Hopefully the Leafs can really pull this one out, play their game like they did in Game 2, and for 3 minutes last game and going into overtime. So let me know how you guys are feeling, what your nerves are like. Are you nervous? Are you surprised, happy, angry? What do you guys think the final scores? I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think it's going to be a 2-1 or a 3-1 or something like that. Maybe a 2-1 with an empty net or something like that. So thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button if you like this content, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care.